The forgotten evangelist who shook nations. The story of Tommy Hicks. In 1954, a little-known American preacher stepped onto the soil of Argentina and within weeks shook an entire nation to its knees before God. Stadiums overflowed. The sick were healed by the thousands. Even the president of Argentina was touched. And it all began with a single healing in a government office. This is the story of Tommy Hicks, the forgotten evangelist whose obedience triggered one of the most explosive healing revivals of the 20th century, and whose mysterious prophetic vision continues to stir hearts around the world today. Tommy Hicks was born in 1909 in California, USA. Like many great revivalists, his beginnings were ordinary. But God had extraordinary plans. As a young man, he gave his life to Christ, began preaching during the healing revivals of the 1940s and 50s, alongside names like Oral Roberts and William Branham, developed a passion for overseas missions and the power of healing evangelism. In 1954, Hicks felt a strange, persistent call in prayer to Argentina, a country largely closed to evangelical Christianity at the time, and still under the influence of dictator Juan Perón. Hicks arrived in Buenos Aires with little money and no connections. He prayed for favor and was led to speak to a government official. That man had a debilitating disease. Hicks prayed, and he was instantly healed. That one miracle opened doors that no man could shut. Word spread. Hicks was invited to meet President Perón himself. The president was suffering from a chronic skin disease. After Hicks prayed, the president reported healing. As a result, he gave Hicks permission to use the largest stadium in the country, the 25,000-seat Luna Park Stadium, for his meetings. What happened next was unlike anything Argentina had seen before. Lines stretched for blocks. Wheelchairs were abandoned. The deaf heard. The blind saw. The gospel was preached with fire and compassion. Reports say that up to 200,000 people attended the meetings over a few weeks. Thousands of confirmed healings, from cancer, paralysis, deafness, blindness, and more. Entire families gave their lives to Jesus. Revival swept the nation, and evangelical Christianity exploded in growth afterward. It wasn't a man. It was the power of God working through a surrendered vessel. Years later, Hicks shared a powerful vision he received during prayer, a vision that continues to be discussed among believers and revivalists today. The vision showed a sleeping giant lying across the earth, bound and seemingly dead. As the giant began to stir, light broke through, and the power of God raised it to life. Out of the giant came waves of evangelists, healings, and power, touching the nations. He saw young people, ordinary believers, laying hands on the sick and preaching with boldness. Many believe this vision was about the global end-time revival, a final great awakening before the return of Christ. After Argentina, Hicks traveled the world, preaching and praying for the sick. But his moment in the spotlight was brief. He lived the rest of his life quietly, continuing to minister in smaller settings. Unlike many of his contemporaries, he never built a large organization or chased fame. He passed away in 1973, relatively unknown in the broader world. Yet, in just a few weeks in 1954, Tommy Hicks helped light a fire that still burns across Latin America today. Tommy Hicks was no superstar, just a man of prayer, a man of obedience, a man who dared to go where God sent him and expect miracles. What could God do today through a man or woman like that? Revival isn't locked in history. It's waiting for another yes. If this story inspired you, subscribe for more revival history and faith-building stories. And in the comments, let us know, do you believe God can do it again?